Good day, students. We are now ready to complete Unit 204, Effective Communication. Make sure you follow the direction on each of the slides so that you can successfully complete the Sitting Guild documents. Learner Outcome 1.1 asks you to define communication. First, let's start with the basics. What is communication? Communication is a process of exchanging information, ideas, or feelings between people. This exchange can help through words, gestures, body language, and even facial expressions. This definition will set the foundation for understanding different forms of communication. But before that, I want you to watch this 4-minute video on effective communication in the workplace to get an overview that will prepare you to complete Learner Outcome 1.
Effective communication skills in the workplace. While schooling prepares us for some things, there usually isn't enough of a focus on how to communicate effectively. This can leave professionals with no idea what to focus on to improve their skills or where they may be lacking. Luckily, communication skills are easy to build as long as we retain awareness of them. Listening. While this one seems like a no-brainer, you might not be shocked by how many coworkers and bosses fail this basic skill test. Being a good listener is the most advised way to communicate because you understand the conversation much better if you know what's been said. Tip to improve listening. 5 steps to practice active listening. 1. Pay attention. 2. Ask clarifying questions. 3. Rephrase what they said to ensure understanding. 4. Repeat as needed. Friendliness. Miss Manners loves this one for a reason. Being friendly and creating an open environment go a long way in workplace communications. Smiles are great for this, as long as they are genuine. Being friendly lets people feel like they can and should talk to you. Tips to improve friendliness. Personalize whenever possible. When you're sending an email or seeing someone in the hall, saying, "Hi, Bill," or "Good morning, Susan, how was your coffee today?" makes you more approachable. Smile. Think of something funny to make it genuine and natural. Open-mindedness. Being open-minded is the ability to consider other points of view without staunchly sticking to your own. Open-minded workers are not married to their own ideas, opening communication channels, and idea workshopping. This makes everyone feel valid and supported. Tip to improve open-mindedness. Adopt a policy of listening to reasoning before every decision is made. Try phrases like, "This is my reasoning. Can you explain yours? And we can agree which we should go with." Or, "Can you help me understand your point of view?" Feedback. Giving and receiving feedback is a critical skill in every workplace. Without feedback, workers cannot know whether their methods are effective or need improvement. Therefore, everyone should look for ways to improve their feedback skills when giving and receiving. Tip to improve feedback. Try not to focus on buts. We often hear people start feedback with a compliment that is immediately erased by a but. For example, "I like the layout of this presentation, but your content wasn't right." Instead, use the compliment sandwich. "The presentation was great visually, and I really liked the layout. Once we work on elevating the content, it'll be perfect." Since you already have such a great organization of the ideas, we should be able to punch the content up easily. Are you enjoying this video so far? Please give us feedback by liking or disliking this episode. Thank you. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication accounts for 70 to 93% of communication, meaning that even when we're silent, people get up to 93% of a message, even if it's not the one we think we're sending. So, by learning how to leverage nonverbal communication properly, we can ensure we're sending the right message. Tips to improve nonverbal communication. Make and maintain eye contact to show you're paying attention, but don't stare. If they're not looking at you, and you've been looking longer than 5 seconds, You're staring. Relax your stance. Uncross your arms, relax your shoulders, and pay attention to what your face is doing. Communicate effectively. Effective communication often boils down to remembering that you are not the only participant in conversations or communication. The other person needs to be considered for communication to consider both parties' viewpoints, ideas, and development.
Now you've defined communication, and now I want you to go on to this website, communication-styles.com, to take the free quiz to determine your communication style, so that you can become a better communicator. My communication style is supporter. I took the test earlier, and mine is supporter. So pause the video, type the link in a browser, and complete the free quiz. Make sure you take note of your results. Outcome 1.2 asks you to list different written forms of communication. Next, let's explore different written forms of communication. Written communication is any information shared in written form, which can be printed or digital. Now, some examples you can include are emails, often used for professional communication in the workplace, reports, documents that provide in-depth information on specific topics or tasks, memos. These are short written communications often used within organizations. The good old letter, formal documents often used for external communication. There are text and instant messages. These are quick, informal messages exchanged on platforms or devices. Then we also have forms, documents used to collect or provide information in a structured way. Now, be sure to add these examples to your list to show a clear understanding of written communication. So there may also be a postcard that you can write for effective ways of written communication. You can write notes on reports. You can make your analytical determinations on some documents for your colleagues. Learner outcome 1.3 lists different spoken forms of communication. On the screen, you see that there are types of communication. We have the verbal communication, and listed on you have your different types of verbal communication that this picture is addressing. So when you look on the screen, you have types of communication, as mentioned before. Verbal communication involves the use of language and words to convey your message. There are different types of verbal communication, looking at intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, small group communication. We have public communication, and we have mass communication when you're looking at spoken forms of communication. Now, question, what spoken forms of communication have you used? Now, spoken forms of communication happens through talking, often face-to-face or over a call. Here are 6 examples. We have face-to-face conversation, we have telephone calls, we have video calls. That could be virtual face-to-face communication through video. Interviews, these are formal question and answer sessions. Presentations, that's when you're speaking to an audience to share information. Group discussions, talking with multiple people to share ideas. Outcome 1.4, list different nonverbal forms of communication. Question, do you know of any ways that people can get a message across using nonverbal communication? Think about that. Now, looking at the screen here, we have the picture on the left showing you 4 forms of nonverbal communication. 1, you have body language. 2, you have facial expression. 3, you have tone of voice. 4, you have gestures. We have eye contact. Maintaining eye contact to show attentiveness or interest. We have facial expressions, expressing emotions like happiness, sadness, or surprise through your face. We have gestures, there's movements of your hands or arms to emphasize your point. Personal space, respecting physical distance during conversations. We have appearance, dressing appropriately to show respect or professionalism. Add these examples to your document to complete this section. Each form of communication, written, spoken, and nonverbal, plays a unique role in how we connect with others. So now we've looked at learner outcome 1. I need you to find the Sitting Gill documents, find slide 1, though that's the cover page. I want you to pause right here so you can look for the document. When you find it, I need you to type your full name in the Unit 204 Effective Communication document. Once you finish typing your name on the cover page, I need you to find slide number 2 and the instructions on this page. You do not do anything to this page, so I need you to leave that alone. Then I need you to find slide 3. Same here. This is the log sheet, which basically lists the work that you have completed. Then I need you to find slide 4. This is the declaration page. This document is very important because it says, I confirm that the evidence supplied for the above listed unit is authentic and a true representation of my own work. The work logged is my own work carried out during my normal work duties, that's during class time. The answers in the question bank are my own work and discussed with my assessor on completion, that is your teacher. I have been observed on my workplace by my assessor on several occasions. I need you to type in your name under the candidate name, your teacher's name under the assessor name, and the IQA name under the IQA name. You can get that information from your teacher. Moving on, for the 5th document, please find slide number 5. Instructions, type your answer for the definition of communication and the different forms of communication as listed on this page. So 1.1 calls for the definition. Outcome 1.2 calls for 6 different written forms of communication. Outcome 1.3, you need to list 6 different spoken forms of communication. And outcome 1.4 lists 6 different nonverbal forms of communication. Young people, you are doing well. We are now on learner outcome 2, which is going to ask you to give examples of appropriate verbal communication in 2.1. In 2.2, it's going to actually give examples of appropriate nonverbal communications. Outcome 2.3, give examples of inappropriate verbal communications. And 2.4, inappropriate nonverbal communications. So question, have you always communicated appropriately? Now let's focus on what makes verbal communication appropriate. Appropriate verbal communication shows respect, shows understanding, and shows professionalism. Here are some examples. 1, saying please and thank you adds politeness or request as appreciation. Using clear language avoids jargon so everyone can understand. Asking clarifying questions, that shows engagement and understanding. Using a friendly tone helps build rapport. Offering encouragement boosts morale in a supportive way. And last, expressing gratitude shows appreciation, fostering a positive environment. Practicing these examples can help you communicate clearly and respectfully. Learner outcome 2.1. Let's look at the picture here. It says verbal communication is the use of words to share information with other people. It includes both spoken and written communication. So, Speak with confidence. You have to have the art of listening. Body language is key. And on this, it tells you be friendly. You can click on the link to do more research before you type your answer into the City and Guild document. You are doing well. 2.2, give examples of appropriate nonverbal communication. Question: do you know of any ways to get a message across using nonverbal communication? I wonder. I'm asking. Can you think of any examples? Now, looking at the picture on the side, we have the nonverbal communication, maintaining eye contact, practicing good posture, smile when appropriate, avoid unnecessary movement, keep an open stance, avoid crossing your arms, and nod to show interest. If you want to click on the link, you can do more research before you type your information into the City Guild document. But as we look at nonverbal communication cues can say a lot without saying words, without using words. Here are some ways to use nonverbal communication effectively. Smiling shows friendliness and openness. Nodding indicates active listening. Maintain good posture demonstrates confidence and attentiveness. Making eye contact shows respect and focus on the conversation. Using hand gestures sparingly helps to emphasize points without distraction. And 6, keeping a respectful distance ensures comfort and respect for personal space. These nonverbal examples reinforce positive communication. So as we move on to 2.3, to give examples of inappropriate verbal communication: rudeness, swearing, offensive language, slang, comments about someone's age or gender. Can you think of a time when you heard someone communicate inappropriately? Click on the link. You can do more research on inappropriate verbal communication. Avoid using sarcasm. Can be confusing or seem disrespectful. Interrupting shows a lack of respect for the speaker. Avoid speaking over others. This can feel dismissive and is unproductive. Avoid using negative language. This creates a negative environment. Avoid raising your voice unnecessarily. This can seem aggressive. And avoid criticizing with constructive feedback. This can be discouraging and hurtful. Now, identifying these will help you avoid communication pitfalls. Moving to outcome 2.4, examples of inappropriate nonverbal communication. Now, looking at the slide in front of you, do you know of any ways people can get a message across using nonverbal communication? How would you get a message across using nonverbal communication? 9 horrible body language habits that are hard to quit. Let's look at the picture here. You can also click on the link and you can go to that site or type that address in. You can do extra research before typing your information into the City and Guild documents. 1, fidgeting, avoid it. Playing with your hair. Adopting a defensive pose. Shuffling instead of walking. Forgetting to smile. Appearing distracted. 7, slouching. Non-existent or aggressive eye contact. Mismatching verbal and nonverbal communication. These are some horrible body languages that you want to avoid. They may be hard to quit, but you want to avoid them. Nonverbal cues can also be misinterpreted if not used appropriately. Here are some examples of inappropriate nonverbal communication that you may want to consider including within your answer. Remember, do not just copy and paste. You've done your research. You've seen the other information on the slide. Here is just some more information you can choose from. Pick something that resonates with you. Rolling of the eyes. That shows disrespect or frustration. Crossing arms in a defensive manner can seem unapproachable. Avoiding eye contact might suggest disinterest or lack of confidence. Invading personal space can make others uncomfortable, especially when someone is right in front of you. Fidgeting excessively may seem distracted or anxious. Sighing loudly can indicate frustration or impatience. These are some examples of nonverbal communication. Now, awareness of these helps you to communicate respect and communicate positively. Keep these in mind as you look to see what is effective communication within the workplace. Unit 204, Outcome 2. Now it's time to find slide number 6. Slide number 6, your Sitting Guild document, Unit 204, Effective Communication, looks like this. Outcome 2.1 asks you to give 3 examples of appropriate verbal communication. Outcome 2.2, give 3 examples of appropriate nonverbal communication. Outcome 2.3, give 3 examples of inappropriate verbal communication. And outcome 2.4, give 3 examples of inappropriate nonverbal communication. Let's jump to outcome 2.1. Give 3 examples of appropriate verbal communication. Highlight example, type your example, press enter, type your second example and press enter, and then type your third example and press enter. Pause so you can complete this document. We are nearly at the end of Unit 204, Effective Communication. Learner Outcome 3, the learner will be able to communicate with others. That's what we are working on. We are working on developing your employability skill of communication. 3.1 is asking you to demonstrate an ability to greet colleagues or customers in an appropriate manner. 3.2 asks you to demonstrate an ability to respond positively to simple questions from colleagues or customers. 3.3 asks you to demonstrate an ability to obtain information from colleagues or customers. Now it's time to practice communication skills. For greeting others, think of a friendly, professional approach. Here's how you can demonstrate it. Say good morning or hello to colleagues or customers. Use a smile and maintain eye contact when greeting. Offer a handshake if it's appropriate in the setting. Now, a warm greeting sets a positive tone and shows respect. For 3.2, demonstrate an ability to respond positively to simple questions from colleagues or customers. When someone asks you a question, a positive response shows that you're approachable and willing to help. For example, answering a colleague's question with, "Sure, I'd be happy to help." Responding to a customer with, "Yes, let's find that information for you." Using a polite tone to acknowledge the question and then providing an answer. Positive responses build trust and make others feel valued. 3.3, demonstrate an ability to obtain information from colleagues or customers. Finally, to obtain information from others, use clear and respectful questions. For example, asking a customer, "Could you tell me more about what you're looking for? Do you have a few minutes to discuss this project?" You can ask a colleague. Asking clarifying questions like, "Could you explain that again?" Asking questions respectfully and listening to the response shows you value their input. Learner Outcome 3. I need you to stop your slide right now. Let's have a look at this slide. The assignment, I need you to find Outcome 3. And I need you to type your full name in outcome 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3 in the space outlined on the Sitting Guild documents that you see below. So on the left, you see outcome 3.1. It says, I can confirm that where it's highlighted, it says type your full name here before printing this page. So I need you to highlight that and then type your full name. I need you to do that for outcome 3.1, 3.2, and also 3.3. So you're looking for slide number 7 and you're looking for slide number 8. You are going to take out the words where it says type your full name here before printing, and you are going to type your full name in there. Make sure you follow the punctuation when you are typing your name. Capital letter for your first name, your middle name, and your last name. Single pages, they do not need to be back to front. Make sure you do not print all the slides. Take both documents to 3 different adults to get them to sign that they have seen you demonstrate the listed behaviors. Get the adult to write a short paragraph when you demonstrated the listed behavior. Give an example of what was taking place, what did they observe. Do not wrinkle these 2 pages. These pages need to be scanned and added to the Sitting Guild's official documents. So please print those documents. As a review, one adult cannot sign all 3 of these demonstrations. It has to be 3 separate adults. It could be any adult in the building. It could be any adult that you have worked with. Except your employability skills teacher cannot sign your documents. It could be your majorette leader. It could be your football club leader. It could be your coach. Any adult that's in the building or any adult that is in your life working with you as a young person. I need you to pause the slide now so that you can print 7 and 8 only. You are now at the end of Unit 204, Effective Communication. You've looked at appropriate and inappropriate forms of communication, and you've also completed the witness statements. You've gone to an adult in the building or outside that they have confirmed that you have demonstrated the correct forms of communication. Well done, and you are now ready to go on to Unit 203.